everybody, and thank you so much for joining us this morning on our webinar called Phish or Legit. And I'm quite excited for this webinar because we're doing it slightly differently than a traditional webinar that you might expect. Joining me today and to take us through some of the content is Cascade CTO Barry Coombs. So I will hand over to Barry until we jump into the quiz, Barry.
Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you ever so much for the introduction. Thank you very much for joining us today around this important subject regarding phishing and the importance of making sure that your staff are aware. Now, we all know that phishing is one of the primary ways that we're seeing, certainly with things like social engineering, being such a increasing trend. Certainly, as I speak to our service desk, one of the biggest trends that we're seeing at the moment is some form of social engineering attack, some kind of phishing attack, resulting in people's Microsoft 365 credentials being leaked. And equally, even if you have some form of MFA in place, a man-in-the-middle attack is then put in place to even overcome that. So I've got to be honest, at least once a month, multiple times a quarter, we're seeing people that have fallen for this. Depending on how they've been susceptible to that will then depend on the effect that it has in the business. But even some of our largest customers are approaching us and going, this is what's happened. Can you help us investigate? What did they get into? What were they able to go and see? So whilst we know this is an area that we really should be investing time, energy and money into, it's an area that is time and time again the weakest link in our security posture. So why phishing still works? The attackers no longer rely on the obvious scams or badly written emails. It used to be really obvious. And I don't know if anybody has tried the Microsoft tools that are available for phishing simulation. But to be honest with you, when I've enabled them, this is exactly what the phishing simulation looks like when you use the default Microsoft tooling that is available. They stand out a mile as to where the bad emails are. From that perspective, everybody gets the same kind of content. And it really doesn't work in representative to what is being used today, especially with social engineering attacks, AI leading the investigation to have a spear phishing attack. So something that is very, very targeted to one of your users inside the organization. So that is that important piece that it is no longer going to look like some dodgy Amazon email that everyone gets it. It's got letters spelt wrong in it. It will look like a genuine email coming from some of the most trusted people that your colleagues are used to interacting with. People are under pressure in their jobs. Equally, other distractions can be in place. We're aware of the beautiful weather that we have in the UK at the moment. People may be wanting to get outside and catch some sun on their lunch break, or maybe they're just distracted because their home office is simply too hot. So they quickly and easily aren't spending as much time looking at the emails that are there. And we've all been there, sat on the sofa in the evening, quickly going through emails. And we see that this is one of the most common places where these emails do get clicked, is when you're on the mobile device, it might not be as easy to look and review what's going on. And as I've already mentioned, AI is there. If I took anybody on this webinar and I used AI to try and understand you, maybe I would come across I create a campaign to look at anyone on this webinar, and I would send you emails that wouldn't be phishing emails. I'd try and figure out a little bit more about you. What makes you tick? What are you interested in? What emails are you used to opening? So then when I plan your phishing emails, I'm then able to make sure I'm targeting you successfully. So why people click, we've kind of gone into that. It's that urgency. If the message in the email is urgent, if you don't do this within the next 2 hours, you're not going to have access. We really need to do this to get to the end of the month number that we need. Your tax return is waiting. We haven't had it from that perspective. That's creating pressure. And like I've said, if it's something, and I've seen these attacks myself, I've got them coming to me that you see HMRC writing to you saying it's getting to the end of the time that you need to do your tax return. We haven't yet had the update from you, or you're about to get fined because you haven't made the payment within that time. It knows that I'm a director in a business. It knows I've got a responsibility to do a tax return. So they have customized these campaigns, creating urgency for me to do something. It's pressurized. I'm going to get fined, and it's coming from HMRC. These things are not always easy to spot. Or I might use curiosity. Maybe it's an offer that just sounds a little bit too good, and well, it often is too good when it does sound too good. But maybe it's kind of on the periphery that actually it sounds something I'm really interesting. Someone's gone on my social media. They know what bands I'm interested in, and there's the last few tickets that are available if I am able to go and purchase them now. Or fear and distraction as well. So all of these things are creating urgency. Hopefully, many of you on this webinar aren't going to fall for Megan's very cunning attacks that she has tried to put together later, but we'll see what the outcome is. So I'm going to pass over to Megan now. She has been working to create some phishing simulations that are based on real life evidence. We're gamifying it a bit, I think. So Megan, without any further ado, let's pass back to you before I then cover a little bit around what we should be doing to be protecting ourselves and our colleagues from these types of attacks.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we didn't want to do the same old webinar, and we didn't want to make it slide heavy. So I have been working on putting it to the test. So in the quiz, we're going to call it, there are two types of questions. The first one, almost like a true or false, but is it Phish or is it a legit email or text message that you are receiving? As you can see at the bottom there, fast answers are higher points, but obviously accuracy is most important. The other type of question is pin the red flag. So these ones are definitely a phishing email, but there is something in that email that gives away that it should have been spotted that it was phishing, and you should not have either responded, clicked, or followed the instructions that they're giving to you. So hopefully it will be clear as to which one it is. I will be honest, the pin the red flag ones, the areas are very small, so you have to be quite specific on what you're clicking. It just can't be a generic area either. And of course, points equal prizes. So the first three people outside of Cascaders, because I can see we've got quite a few Cascaders on there and I don't want them to win it. Hopefully they're on there though. We can send out your vouchers after this webinar, and they won't be phishing emails. They will actually be from me, so you haven't got to worry at that point. So without further ado, if you scan the QR code, and I promise you it is safe, or you head to kahoot.it and then enter the game pin, which is 58138332. Once everyone's joined, we will get started. If I can ask as well that you put your first name and maybe last initial or something like that, just so that I know who's won. So when I go back to the leaderboard, I can send out your vouchers.
You've got everyone thinking twice here, Megan. Am I going to get the voucher, or is it phishing? Is this a real QR code, or is it or not? So you're certainly building the trust and the authority here. But for today, this is all real.
Perfect. We've got 13 participants, 15. Let a few more people join because we've got 21 on here and I don't want anybody to miss out. If anyone's having any trouble, pop it in the chat and we can have a look or give you a hand. Almost there with everyone joining, unless anybody's going to be doing it as a team. I'll give it 30 more seconds and then we will get started. Right, I think we will get started. So before we get started, firstly, good luck to everybody. Remember, quick answers mean you get more points, but obviously if they're wrong, you get nothing. So try and be correct, but also try and be fast as well. So let's get started. Oh, bear with me. I'm not sharing the right screen. That would help, wouldn't it? Let me just share this. Let me know when you can see it with your thumbs up in the Kahoot. I've seen a couple of people doing that. Yeah, all good. Perfect. So first question, is this email phishing or legit? I should have mentioned as well, you only get 20 seconds per question, which once you've read the email, isn't that many seconds remaining. We've only got 6 answers. Oh, people are running out of time and I'm feeling stressed right now. Well done. It was a phishing email. We should report it. So as you can see, there was an urgent payment needed today from Barry that was sending me that. Barry doesn't actually email me this sort of thing. But I can see that the email does come from Barry Coombs, barry.coombs@cascade.co.uk, but actually he's changing things like the account number, sort code, etc. So it's likely in that scenario that somebody has actually got into Barry's account and is actually sending malicious emails on his behalf. So that might have been from something like the man in the middle attack that Barry mentioned before. So one to look out for. I will also mention only 10 people answered there, so we're going to have to be a little bit quicker. I think we've got somebody that thinks they're on the wrong quiz. So just to confirm, if you head to kahoot.it, the pin is 5813832. Hopefully that will work for everybody. Is everyone else okay? Hoping so. So next question, Phish or legit? We're getting some more answers this time. Well done, everybody, or most of the people there. That was a legit one. There wasn't anything malicious about it. They're just giving me a heads up for a meeting tomorrow. So they haven't asked me to click on anything. They haven't sent anything through that I need to look at or anything like that. It is just a legitimate email that's coming through at that point. This is one of the pin the answers, so pin the red flag. How should we have spotted that this particular email was a phishing email? I think I put this one in as a bit of a tricky one, if I'm honest. Quite a few people. So there was the box that we should have ticked in, some of you just outside of it. The actual giveaway there was something that Barry mentioned earlier. It was the obvious spelling of certain things was incorrect. So I think customer was spelled as customer. And what we could have checked is when we hovered over the link, we would have seen that it was potentially an illegitimate link, etc. But the giveaway on that one was that the spelling was all incorrect there. I'm being told that this is hard to read on a phone. If you are able to join on a computer, it might be a little bit easier for you on there. I think that was Dan that has popped that on there. So hopefully, if I fill the space enough, you can join on your phone. So just to confirm, it is kahoot.it, and then the pin is 5813832. This is another Phish or legit question. So is this text message, because they don't always come through as emails, even some scams that are trying to get you on your work accounts come through as text messages or calls. They'll get in anyway if they try to. Is it phishing or is it legit? It was a phishing text message that we've had. I'm sure we've all received a text message before that's a phishing one. If it comes from anyone like Royal Mail or a lot of the ones like DPD, etc., they usually come up as the name in the text message. So it wouldn't just come up as a random number like this one has done. And equally, we would always make sure with something like that, we know we've got something being delivered, or two, rather than clicking on the link there, you would head over to the website and find it. An alternative way is the most safe way to do that. And we have another pin the answer question here, and pin the red flag. So somebody's asking me to, or Microsoft asking me to pre-register and re-register my authenticator application that I'm sure we're all used to, where does it show the obvious thing that this is a phishing email? Well done to 7 of you. It was the QR code. Unlikely that that's going to come through in an email from Microsoft as a QR code. Equally, we're told that scanning QR codes, which is very ironic after I asked you all to join a quiz via this, scanning QR code in emails usually hide the destination of the URL. So it's hard for things like your security tools like Barracuda, etc., to actually be able to test them. Hence why some people use them, and then it's harder to quantify whether they're secure or not. So is this email phishing or legit? Somebody, well, Barry, again, I'm picking on him today, is asking for me to process a payment of £18,400 to a new supplier. I'd rather not loop in finance on this one. It's tied to a confidential acquisition and only leadership are across it. Reply when you're ready and I'll send the bank details over. Correct. Again, that one was phishing. And again, it did come from Barry's email. So likely man in the middle. However, it's unlikely that Barry is going to ask me to process a payment of such a big amount of money. Really suspicious that he said don't loop in finance, etc., and I'll send over the bank details. None of that feels very legitimate. And even if I was in a finance role, the wording, the terminology, the urgency as such, all shouts that it is suspicious and obviously isn't legitimate in this use case. So another phishing or legit, your May pay slip is now available. Your pay slip for May is ready to view in Bright HR. To view it, please log into Bright HR using the bookmark in your browser or open the Bright HR app on your phone, as we won't always include a direct in this link in this email. Is that one phishing or legit? Everyone got that one right. Yeah, it was legit. And as we could see, it was telling us to go and check the app on our phone or go and check the browser. It hasn't put a link in, and it's the end of May, so my payslip probably did come through in my email. So that one would be a legitimate email. And this one obviously is a phishing email, but something gives away that it is a phishing email. So, hi Megan, as part of our security review, we're asking everyone to verify their current Microsoft 365 password. Please confirm your password using the button below. Comes from itsupport@cascade.co.uk, and it's got a button to press. Well done to everybody that clicked the button. That was the giveaway. The IT team wouldn't put a button in something like that if it was coming from them necessarily. So the link was probably suspicious or malicious. But again, hovering over the link that they're sending you will give you that insight as to, is it somewhere that you'd expect it to go? If it were me, I would expect that to go somewhere to Microsoft 365, obviously, as that's what they're asking me. Likely that the link was telling me to go off to some random page that would mimic a Microsoft 365 password reset page, etc. So that would give that away for me. This is quite a long one. Hi everyone, Microsoft is running planned maintenance on the Microsoft 365 platform overnight this Saturday between 2 and 4. During the window, you may see brief interruptions to Outlook, Teams, etc. More information, take a look. And it's at cascade.sharepoint.com. And then it's got a SharePoint link there. Well done. That was a bit more tied. That one actually was legit. And if you look at this, it comes from a Cascade email. It links to a SharePoint site and our internal SharePoint site. So I can see that that is where it's linking off to. And they've given me some more information about that. And I would be able to check in with the team. However, obviously, the main thing to mention here is if you ever did suspect it, it would be to speak to the team to check that information before you were clicking on the email there. Late filing penalty. Dear Director, a late filing penalty of £150 has been issued for the annual confirmation statement of Cascade. To pay the penalty online, please use the link below. Is it phishing? Should we report it or should we pay the penalty? That one is phishing. And like Barry said, some of those things of why people click, even though they're aware of this information, that they're aware of how phishing works and what they should be looking out for, when something like that comes in, the fear hits you. Oh, we're late in filing the penalty. It's come from company's house. I need to pay it because otherwise I'm going to get a bigger fine. Fear will kick in, the distractions, all of that, and they will just click on it without thinking twice because that's just hit the emotions that it needs to hit for them to then click into it. So one to be aware of, but well done to everybody that got that one correct. And another pin the answer, which is where we seem to get a few people getting these wrong. Hopefully you won't if it's a text. Your tax code has been updated for the 2026 tax year. To view your updated code, sign into your personal tax account. This one's meant to be from HMRC. What is the giveaway of this text message that shows that it is a scam? Well done, everyone, I think. Oh, one person was just outside of the box. I told you it's a little bit harsh with that. It was the number, as I said earlier, if it's coming from a legitimate source, it usually comes from something like HMRC and it will give you that information. Equally, there are some organizations that will not send you things like text. I'm not sure HMRC are one that would send you a text. I think they tend to do it via a letter, which is still very traditional. So things like that should be a bit of a red flag when they come through to you. What I have seen here though is they haven't sent me a link or anything to click on. However, this could be like the first message and then the next message that comes through could be the one with the link. And if they're trying to sort of build that trust that they are the trusted source, etc., like Barry spoke about earlier, that could be when you then click on it because you believe it's from them because you've had a previous message that seemed legitimate as well. So we're coming up to the last couple of questions now. Is this one a phish or legit? It is a text message from Microsoft using the verification code. That one is legit. Only if this one comes with a bit of a caveat, only if you have requested that code yourself. If you get that message and you haven't requested the code, obviously at that point it isn't a legitimate text, or maybe it is, but somebody else is trying to get that code. But if you have requested it, that is a legitimate text that you will receive. Alternatively, using the Authenticator app does tend to be slightly more secure because it allows you to log in and get that code for one-time use, etc. And then last question, pin the red flag, and then we should see who is on the leaderboard. I've got a tax refund of £284.50. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Following the year-end reconciliation of your PAYE record, HMRC Revenue and Customs has calculated you're due a refund. You can claim this by signing in. How should I have recognised that that was a scam? Well done. That one was from a email that looked correct. It was from HMRC refund-gov.uk.org or something like that. And actually the email was incorrect. So I think emails from HMRC always come from, I did note this down, I can't remember off the top of my head, always come from hmrc.gov.uk. So whilst it looks correct at first glance, and again, once that fear kicks in, that, or maybe not fear, that joy kicks in, and I see that, I might look to go in and check anything, etc. However, checking the email address, and there are some really clever things that people do with email addresses these days when they put an R and an N together so it looks like an M. they can be harder to spot. But that's why whenever you've got an email like this, or like any email that you suspect, just taking 20 seconds, for example, like we've done on these emails, to just check everything, check the link, check the email address, check what they're asking you to do and if it's legitimate. And of course, always recommend, especially if it's somebody internally, like the ones from Barry, when he was asking you to transfer money, pick up the phone and give them a call and check if it's legitimate before you do anything as well. So hopefully we should see who's on the podium. There we go. So in third place is Sarah. Congratulations, Sarah. In second place is Ali. And in first place, the most secure of them all is Daniel. So well done, Daniel. Thank you very much. And I hope you all enjoyed that and it was slightly more interesting than just lots and lots of slides. I was very pleased to see there as well, Jack P from our team was number 4. So Jack wins the Cascade vote and the winner from Cascade as well. Barry, back over to you. I will share the slides.
I definitely knew the HMRC one was fake because it was offering a refund, and I don't think I've ever seen one of those. So that must be. Certainly, when I have seen HMRC text messages, you do get them. They don't link you to anything specific. They just tell you your tax return is due and direct you in the way of going to the government website to go and do that. But before we kind of go on with the final few slides whilst they load, I get everybody to think about it here. And I'd imagine most people in this webinar today are IT professionals. But imagine 4:30 today, Rachel is working from home in her office. It has hit 36 degrees in her south-facing home office. Her child has been running in and out because it's half term, asking when she's going to be finished because they want to go to the park. And she gets an email at the end of the day. That's pretty good. It looks realistic. Is Rachel clicking that email? Is she aware? Has she had the training? Have you protected Rachel in that situation? And that's the thing that we really need to do as technical professionals, as maybe people professionals, those that are looking after the employees. So what can we do? What are some of the best practices that we can do around this? So first of all, we need to be thinking around the awareness does not always equals care. I don't know, Megan, if you can expand upon that one a little bit.
Yeah, so as I spoke about a minute ago, people do know this. Like Barry said, Rachel in her office probably knows that the threats are there and she's probably done her mandatory training, knows to look out for things, etc. But that doesn't always mean that people have that genuine concern, and the engagement and the training needs to be ongoing, but it also needs to connect with them and show that genuine concern, because otherwise they can be aware of it but it may not resonate with them and therefore they may still click it or be unaware of the real threat that it could pose to them, their organization, etc.
Fantastic. And then balanced training and awareness. And we see this one quite often. More often than not, phishing is dealt with once a year compulsory training that is very stale. Next, take the quiz at the end, get people, HR, off our back from needing to go and do something. And we really need it to be more engaging with that. We've got to mix training, awareness, simulations. We've got to really have a culture about talking about these things. Certainly when I was previously responsible for phishing simulation training, you used to hear the conversation go around the office. Oh, is this one of Barry's training emails or is it a real one? And even the CEO said to me at one point, he goes, Barry, I'm not quite sure about this phishing simulation. Every time I get an attachment now, I have to stop and think about it. It's taking me time. And I went, great, it's doing exactly what it needs to be doing then. We've got to have a culture that people are encouraged to talk about it, that they are tested in a way that they feel safe. Certainly going up and reprimanding someone because they've clicked a targeted phishing email is not the right approach to be able to move that culture forward. And focus on the critical behaviors. Make sure that we're kind of thinking about actually what does good look like here? How can we make sure that we're pulling up on the right things and we're training what is critical? And part of that is the bit that I've just mentioned. It's looking out for the patterns like you've just done in Megan's test emails. It's starting to question everything that you are seeing from that perspective. It isn't knowing about each and every type of phishing simulation and phishing attack from that perspective. It isn't about sitting down for an hour and doing cybersecurity training for a user. This is just as much about protecting someone's personal bank account as it is protecting your organization's information, and actually approaching it from that direction is there to help your employees and will in turn help you from a business perspective as well. And enable easy reporting, and this is the bit that often I don't seem to get right, is if your users see a phishing email, what are they doing today? How are they letting IT know that a phishing email got through? This should be something that you encourage, that you almost reward that behavior of clicking the phishing button or forwarding it to IT going, look, I don't think this is right. And certainly our customers that use Cascade Protect M365 for email protection, we are able to then update every single one of our customers to go that we're seeing this phishing email. Let's start protecting all of our customers, not just the one customer. So inside your organizations, if you're managing your own email protection, you can take one user reporting a phishing email and protect the whole organization by doing that. So think about how you're encouraging the users to do that, how they should be reporting it. And when IT get it, do they just go, well, I don't know why they're letting me know, this is nice, close the ticket? Or are you actually doing something with that to help better protect the organization and train the users? And then finally, security is a marathon. So this is all around. This isn't a quick fix and you're done. This isn't roll out some training now and next month you don't have to worry about. You need to kind of approach it with that steady state. Anyone that's seen me present at Define Tomorrow, you know I love Kaizen, the ability to be able to start something and then continuously improve it. You constantly need to be looking about the different ways, what's changing, what can we improve, how can we make this the culture a little bit better around detecting and sharing what we're learning from that perspective. So one of the products that we absolutely love at Cascade, and we are an organization that eats our own dog food or drinks your own champagne if you don't like the sound of that. And we have implemented KnowBe4 internally for phishing simulation and cyber training. The reason I really like it is it gives you bite-sized training if you should so happen to click on one of the emails. It's simulated phishing, but I love that it has an AI mode that allows the campaign to be ran by KnowBe4. So no longer do I need to think about actually which campaign should I be running. It is able to send a different phishing simulation campaign to every single user and then take the knowledge from what they clicked last time to tune the next one that they get. So this isn't something that you need to continuously monitor. I'm sure there are things that you want to tweak and change and look at the results, but I do love the ability that it can learn and send that out. And the reporting, sorry, go on, Megan.
I was going to say as well, I think that's really important because if you send the same email to everybody, as soon as it starts getting around the office, like, oh, don't click on that one that comes from X, your statistics aren't then accurate because it's really unlikely that somebody in your organization, if they receive a phishing email, is going to get the exact same one as someone else on the same day, especially if they're using social engineering to get to know the people, look at their LinkedIn or anything like that. So actually, it's so much more accurate that I might get one from our HR team as a phishing simulated email saying that there's been a new policy updated, but then somebody else, Barry probably, will get one from Amazon saying his parcel's on the way, which is probably likely, knowing Barry and all his Amazon parcels. So it does make it a lot better for the reporting because at that point you can't just do the whole share with your friends then not to click on it. And they do come through in different days. So whilst I might get mine today, somebody else in the organization might not get theirs till Thursday. So it makes it so much more realistic, which means your reporting is more accurate, which allows you to then tailor your training moving forward.
And KnowBe4's reporting is really simple. It's really to the point. You can go and see what each person's clicked on. You can see the trends inside of it, and you're able to offer a simplified view that I just get on an email. I'm not responsible for it at Cascade anymore, but I still ask to see the emails. I still want to know that the trend is going in the right direction. And one of the important things that isn't mentioned here is this product is also an affordable product. We all know that more and more we're being asked to invest in cybersecurity. For me, when I saw the quality of the product and then the pricing around it, I was really surprised as to how affordable this was, because I expected it to be a lot more premium when I saw the added value that it had of alternative solutions we've looked at before. So I wanted to show a few examples here. So this is one of the emails that came, actually is part of the Cascade simulation that went out last week. This was sent to a user. As you can see, this is a good looking email. I don't know from that perspective, I suppose it's coming from a Cascade address, and maybe that's something that I would notice on here. But otherwise, this looks like a typical email that we see hundreds of people clicking at the moment. It looks like it's coming from Microsoft. It feels like it could be right. It takes you to a page, then looks like you're logging in as Microsoft 365. It even has the MFA pop up that you need to be able to use your MFA token to go and get it. But it's all fake. It's a man in the middle attack, and you will have then seen that. But the difference is here, oops, you've clicked a simulated phishing test. And this is just one example. This is a very quick stop, check, yeah, oh, I did do that kind of thing. So always must stop and have a look, think before I click, check for the red flag. So it's giving me some targeted training in this example, but equally KnowBe4 is then able to tweak the future campaign for me to then help me get across the right one. And there are different types of training that your users will get based upon what they click on, etc. But it's more than just phishing simulation. Phishing simulation is not enough from that perspective. So there is training that you as administrators can send out. Like on the left, there's a phishing button feature that is fantastic in KnowBe4 that allows people to quickly click the phish button and alert IT that a phishing email has come through. We then have training videos, and the one in the middle there is actually a video scenario. It doesn't feel too cheesy. It's actually quite good quality video, and the person that is sat there is actually a user, and there is a threat actor in the other part of the video, and it actually shows you how someone is, it's not just about phishing. So this is kind of social engineering. Someone's given someone a call, and they've pretended to be the IT department. The guy's stressed. Actually, the guy from IT is really busy. He's trying to do stuff, so the user actually starts to think he needs to help the guy in IT because he's pulling his hair out here from that perspective. And then we've got quite a fun animation on the right-hand side here. So it's not a one-trick pony, is that the saying? We've got the phishing simulation, we've got the reporting, and we've got the user training all in the platform there. And here's an example of the user training, of the dashboard on the right-hand side there. You can see as to how you're doing against the industry. You can see the phishing simulations over the last few months from that perspective. You can see what is happening from clicks and things like that. So you can see the different security types in the top right. So most importantly for me, this is really simple. This does not require you to go on a week-long training course to get the certification to go and do it. It's very simple. Get it up and running, and then be protecting the users inside your organization. So I'm not a specialist in KnowBe4, and don't believe me, the best way to experience KnowBe4 is first of all see a demo and then have your own proof of concept to see how it would work inside your organization, how you're going to take the knowledge, the culture from where it is today to where it's coming. Again, we promise that this is not a fake phishing QR code, but equally we will send out links to you as well. Megan's probably put a link inside of the chat. So maybe you've got a few months left on your current platform. Now's a good time to be talking to us, even if you'd be replacing it in 6 months or more. The team at KnowBe4 are fantastic. The team at Cascade will be able to deal with your inquiries and help you level up where you are with your phishing simulation and cyber training. And I think that's all we've got for today. So hopefully you found that useful. I hope I'm going to see most of you at our Copilot event in our office on Thursday. So anybody that's using Copilot for Microsoft 365, we've got a user group where we're going to show you some wicked ways that you can make the most out of Microsoft 365 for Copilot. If you're more from the security angle, we've got a Purview event happening very soon as well from that perspective, and that's about protecting your data and your documents. But other than that, make sure you enjoy the sun, find some shade, get some suntan cream on, make sure you go and find yourself a nice glass of water to keep hydrated. I hope you've enjoyed the webinar. Look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you, everyone.